Great to be with you this afternoon. I'm going to bring up our slides and introduce ourselves. I'm Laura Fogel. I'm the director of Metric, which is the library for the College of Education at NC State.
And I'm Scott Summers. I'm the assistant director here at Metric, which is the College of Education's library here at NC State.
So thank y'all for joining us this afternoon. We are going to be talking about using AI as your classroom companion. We're going to explore some tools that you can use to make your life easier. We're going to share some lists with you. We don't particularly endorse any of the tools. We just want to provide you with a way to explore them and think about how they could work for you. Of course, you want to make sure that you are um, vetting them for the purpose that you're going to be using them. We're really going to be focusing on you using them as the teacher, not students using them. So Scott has shared in the chat the link to our slides. So you're welcome to follow along or just look at them and view those slides later. So this is a outline of what we're going to talk about. We will have some interactive sessions. Feel free to put things in the chat if you have questions or comments, and there'll be certain points that we'll ask you to put things in the chat, and it will be creating some crowdsourced material for all of us to benefit from over the course of our 45 minutes together, so that we can all learn more by sharing what each of us has learned with the others. So we want to start by what you are thinking or hoping maybe that your AI classroom companion can do for you or for other classroom teachers. So Scott is putting another link in the chat, and that is a link to a Padlet that will let us all post. And this, if you haven't been to Padlet recently, they have a new kind of Padlet. This one is called a Sandbox, and it is kind of a Jamboard replacement. So we're going to use that as a place to collect everybody's perspective on what it is you're hoping AI can do for you. Now I'm going to go into that Padlet myself. So you can, as somebody is doing, put in text. There's also sticky notes that you can add with the little note icon, kind of like we used to have in Jamboard. So you can click on the sticky note and then drop it on the surface. I put a uploaded a background image onto this particular one so that we have sort of the two halves. What are you hoping that AI can do to help classroom teachers, but also sort of the other side of the coin, like what are your concerns or what are your fears about AI, so that we're really being balanced about our thinking and both of those things. All right, these are great ideas. Both the hopes and aspirations for AI and the concerns. Um, See a lot of the same things that I've been thinking about over the past, right? It's AI has been with us for a long time, but with generative AI that came out about 2 years ago, it really changed the landscape. Um, and that's the kind of AI that we're going to be talking about primarily this afternoon is the generative AI tools that are available. And I see somebody put in so many tools, right, and trying to figure out which ones do what. So hopefully this session will help you out with that a little bit, but maybe introduce you to more tools. So hopefully it won't be in an overwhelming way. So feel free to continue posting onto that Padlet. I'm going to keep us moving along here in the slide deck. So 2 years ago, when ChatGPT was announced, really there was a lot of um, hysteria around the initial release and what its impact was going to be on education. I think that's become a little bit dialed back. We are trying to take a really balanced and cautious approach, although it's hard. Um, Not rushing to adopt six puppies at once and then be surprised when the chaos breaks out from having all this new stuff that you really weren't totally familiar with all of its capabilities, limitations, and caveats. So that's what we're going to try to share with you is a variety of options, but trying to balance the feeling of like, wow, this is crazy, all the great things it can do with, wow, this is crazy. It's scary, some of the things that can happen. So we'll try to do be balanced in presenting both of those. So we'll start with some dogs that can do tricks, keeping it with our little theme here. So these tools that are listed on this slide are tools that can do fun things, maybe not tools that you would use to create instructional content, although they could potentially. Um, so we wanted to just give you 2 or 3 minutes to experiment with one of these. You can click on the links or you can just type their name into Google search bar and it'll take you right to those tools. So the first one, Suno, you can type and it will create a song for you. You can choose a particular musical style. It does let you edit the lyrics if you choose to do that, or it'll create lyrics for you based on the topic that you put in. So that one is fun and amazing. Starry AI generates images based on your text. And again, you can choose like a style. My personal experience with that one is since it's most recent updates, it is a little less user friendly. And it is of the three on this slide, it is the slowest to generate. Um, so if you want some quick results, I would choose either Suno or Tutor AI. Um, Tutor AI will give you a text-based lesson on a topic. It is amazing how fast it generates. But it definitely is limited in that it really is just text that it creates. Like it doesn't have any images, doesn't have any interactivity, but it does give you lots of content really fast, which is kind of amazing. So um, feel free to explore one of those. I'm going to click on one, but I'll be quiet so you can attend to your own exploration while I'm looking at one of them also. So one thing I will point out while you're exploring those. So for example, Tutor AI is the uh, premium nature of many of these tools, right? I have 0 credits remaining in Tutor AI, so I can no longer generate courses without paying them. And really, most of the tools have some paid options and some limitations for the free version. Oh, thanks, Scott, for sharing your song about how to tie your shoes. Very cool. So feel free to take a little exit ramp and be playing with those tools. I'm going to continue on and talk about um, our curricular applications, right? So those tools that we were looking at, they might be, they can do cute tricks, but really, would they win our prize for best in show for instruction? Probably not. Um, 3 aspects of that benefit for curriculum and educational impact that you might want to consider are the teacher role support, right? Does this tool support you as a teacher in trying some of those things that we posted in the Padlet? Does it save you time? Does it allow you to individualize instruction? Um, and then does it align with your curriculum? So you maybe you're a kindergarten teacher and you do teach your students how to tie their shoes. So that could be something that tied to what you do in the classroom. And then the last one of engagement, how does it improve or increase your students' engagement? And there's a link there to DPI's AI rubric that has that facet of evaluating AI tools and many more that we'll come back to a little bit later. So now that we've, had the fun tricks, let's really look at some tools that will have more focused impact for teachers and be capable for you to align them with your instruction. So these are kind of 3 of the generative AI, large language models that are very popular. There are others. I am highlighting these because they are different than each other. So ChatGPT is the one that you probably have all heard about before. Christy, do you have a question? You can go ahead, unmute. I think you can. Or type it in the chat. All right, we'll figure that out and come back to you. So Chat GPT, right, is one that you probably have heard about. It has had some updates since it first came out 2 years ago. It hasn't had many updates since it came out 2 years ago. So I'm going to demonstrate one thing that you could do with Chat GPT. I'm just going to paste in a prompt for it to create an outline for me for a newsletter. So it generates rather quickly. I'm just using the free version. And so it gives me an outline with some different ideas that I could include in my newsletter. So I find ChatGPT to be a good writing partner when I need help brainstorming on an outline or some ideas to get started. I find ChatGPT is really helpful for that. And if you don't like the first response, you can always ask it to regenerate and give you a new response. You can give it feedback on what you liked or didn't like about the one that it gave you this time. So that's ChatGPT. And then Claude is another generative AI tool, and it is known for being a little bit more restrictive in its language that it allows. So it maybe is safer. But still you want to use all the precautions that you would use with any AI tool. So one of the things that it does particularly well is make visualizations. So I uploaded responses from my students. I took out their names and just put in their responses and uploaded them and asked it to give me a chart visualizing the data. So it'll accept a CSV file. So that's what I provided. It was a Google form that I downloaded into a CSV, and then it gave me these visualizations. Now, Google Forms will give you visualizations also, but this is just an example of how you could take any kind of data and ask it to give you a visualization, and it can create that for you. I didn't give it any other direction, just asked for the visualization. So that is a feature of Claude in particular that it's known for. The third one is Perplexity. So Perplexity is known as really an AI powered search engine for the internet. It allows you to determine the kind of focus you want to have. So you see here at the top, it says for this one, my focus was academic. So I told it what kind of resources to pull from to give me this response. I asked it about something that we were having a conversation about at work today about fan fiction and copyright, and it gave me a very lengthy response, and it gave me the sources of what it gave me those responses from. So I can actually go to the source. So one of the concerns about AI is hallucinations or AI creating things that don't exist outside of the AI. And in this case, with Perplexity, it really lets you know exactly where it got it from, and you can go to that original source and verify it right there within the response that it gives you. So that's a nice feature of Perplexity. So once you've selected a tool, you need to train your large language model to respond for you. One of my first experiences with ChatGPT, I was with a colleague in a meeting, and we both had the idea to get ChatGPT to help us with this group assignment that they'd given us in this meeting. And the response that I got back was really not very interesting. The one that she got back was amazing. And the difference was that she had learned how to craft her prompt, really engineer that prompt well to get the response that would be more effective. So this is taken from DPI's guidance about AI in K-12, and gives you some aspects of a prompt to think about. You don't have to use all of them all the time, but I like the way it breaks it down and helps you think about how to guide the AI in giving you the kind of response that you would want. So I have an example of a prompt where I was trying to sometimes providing an analogy to your students can help them understand certain concepts. So looking, and it can be hard to think of analogies that would be relevant to your students. So if I was trying to explain mass to second graders, what's an analogy that would be useful for them? So I included, right, that I wanted it to be for a second grader and what my topic was. So the framework for that is on the right-hand side. My actual prompt that I provided to ChatGPT is over there on the left-hand side. And then this is the response that I got, right? It thought of things that a second grader could relate to, a giant pillow or a small gold coin, and used that in its analogy. So the prompt really makes a big difference on how effective the AI tool is going to be in meeting your expectations of what you were looking for. So those guidelines of the aspects of the prompt can be really helpful. It also, this AI for Education prompt library is sort of a shortcut that you can get some prompts that are ready-made and use those or modify them. And it will help you see how the different AIs respond to those, and you can get more proficient at writing prompts that get you the kind of responses that you would like. So that is a resource that can be helpful to you as you're working with the prompts. So one of the big things that we that came through in the Padlet was saving time. So what is it that you want to spend less time doing in your role and that you think maybe ChatGPT could help you with? So we're going to put this brainstorm in the Padlet as well. Oh, you know what? I pivoted my plan and didn't change my slide prompt. Let's just put that in the chat. What is the thing that you want to spend less time doing? Just put that in the chat. And if you would, in the chat, choose everyone so we can all see the responses that you put in.
Laura, I think because we're in webinar mode,
They
we
can't.
have enabled chat, but I think it's still blocking them from chatting with you.
Okay, that's fine.
And I don't know, like I can ask somebody to unmute, but I don't know if it's going to them.
Yep, that's fine. So we could just use this second page of the Padlet, and you can just post on that page 2 of the Padlet. What are the things that you would like to spend less time doing that you think AI might help you with? And Scott put that link to the Padlet right in there. Awesome. And that link to the Padlet is go.ncsu.edu/NCTIES Padlet. Oh, yes. I love that one. Changing the tone of emails when you might be feeling some kind of way and you need to make sure that it's professional. That is a great use of AI tools. Um, Perfect. Thanks for sharing those. Also, maybe making bell ringers. Another one of mine is multiple choice test questions, like the distractor. Um, it's always, I think, challenging to come up with distractors. So we talked about the three kind of general purpose large language models, but I wanted to share with you some other AI tools. These are specifically for education. Right now that large language model engines are available on the market, companies are integrating them or packaging them with additional purposes overlaid. So these are four tools that are specifically in the education realm, right? Curipod, which can make lessons for you based on a topic. It also can generate slides. Diffit is amazing in being able to take text, or it can generate text on a specific topic, or it can adapt that text for you. EduAid can create lesson ideas. It has a lot of options. Once you tell it what you are interested in, a particular topic, it can really give you a lot of materials. And Magic School has some features that really can help you differentiate and provide adaptations to your assignments that support all of your learners. So these are four tools that you don't have to do as much prompt engineering or crafting of that prompt. They really are providing that structure for you within the tool. So it's you can get results a little bit faster and more tailored to the education, to your education needs versus the general purpose large language model tools like ChatGPT. So next, I wanted to show you about a third category of tools. And these are tools that existed before the AI features were available, but now have been enhanced with significant AI capability. So Canva, that we all know and love for creating beautiful slides and graphics and social media text or social media posts, now has AI features in it, and it can generate images for you. It can generate videos. It can enhance images that you've created. Um, the picture that's on the first slide of this presentation with the dog sitting at the teacher's desk, I generated through Canva. Quizzes, will create a quiz for you from a particular prompt, or you can upload a file, right? So you could take some of your instructional materials and upload it to quizzes, and it'll create a quiz for you. That sort of brings up one of the concerns that we might have about AI models, and that is turning over our own creative ideas to it. So you would want to understand what they are doing with that information, perhaps behind the scenes, and just know that you are sharing it with them. So if it's intellectual property that you really want to keep personal or private to you, then then you might not want to use that particular feature of uploading a file that includes your intellectual property. And then Padlet, which we were just using, it now will generate boards for you, Padlet boards, by just answering a few questions. It'll create a whole board for you, like a compare contrast board. So these tools that have been around for a long time now have additional features that can maybe save us time or give us additional functionality that we didn't have before. So here's a summary of those tools that we've talked about so far. And then there's also a link to the AI Educator Tools list. That list is very extensive. There's definitely dozens of tools there, and there may be hundreds. And they have a short summary of what the tool does. But I wouldn't say it's really a full review of the tool, but you can look at, if you hear about a tool, you can go there and get a brief description of what it does. Or if you're looking for a tool that does a particular thing, it does have filters. So you can say, well, I want an AI tool that is about assessment, and I want one that is free. And whoop, nothing there. So you can filter based on these different purposes that you might have, and limit this long, its long list just for those particular tools. So what we wanted to do next was find out from you what tool it is that you're interested in trying. And then we'll, as a group, investigate different tools and then share out through the Padlet what things we learned about that tool. So decide which tool it is that you might want to investigate. And we're just going to take a few minutes to do some investigation and trying out of that tool, see whether it meets your expectations and maybe gives you the capability to save some time. And then we're going to share what we all have learned. So then we'll all have not just what we investigated personally, but what each person here investigated it and their ideas and feedback on what that tool's capabilities are. So we'll take a little bit of time to do that. And we're going to post in the Padlet when we're done. So I'll just have that slide showing while we're doing our investigation, and feel free to go to that Padlet and start sharing about your tool as soon as you discover something amazing and wonderful, or something that's just okay, or something that you're like, I'm concerned about this, because all of that is good learning for us to share. All right, so I see prompts or responses coming in on that page 4 of our Padlet. Lots of people checking out EduAid today. Um, EduAid is one that in particular, it has so much stuff, like you might first not even realize that there are tabs at the top because there's so many things on the first tab. There are multiple tabs there that you can get different kinds of things, like you can get rubrics and you can get trying to remember the other things on the then there's um, essay revisions, exemplars, essay outlines, choice board assignments. So there's lots of different types of materials that it can give you, not just that first tab with planning, which is the default one that it opens up. Awesome. Oh yeah, and then school AI bell ringers. Yep. Nice. So I do, right, we just did really quick evaluations and investigations of these. And I want to acknowledge that before you commit to adopting this new classroom companion, you'll want to really fully evaluate it and understand its benefits, but also some of the risks or limitations. So I've shared a link here to the AI rubric that I referenced earlier from DPI that has multiple categories for you to consider when you're looking at generative AI tools. There's also 2 organizations that have been reviewing some AI tools. Common Sense Media, which of course has been reviewing instructional technology tools for a long time. They have a special page now just for AI tools. And ISTE has changed their tool evaluation process recently as well. They don't have as many AI tools on their list currently, but I imagine that they will be adding them frequently. So I encourage you to check out those ways to more fully evaluate your AI tools. And I want us to have in mind the real concerns around AI, which came up that you all raised at the beginning. They can hallucinate. There was a lawyer who was disbarred because they quoted a case that AI had generated and wasn't real. There is bias in the algorithms. There are many examples of that. One is that there was a healthcare screening app that was using AI and it was shown to be less accurate for Black patients than white patients. And then, of course, deep fakes, which use AI power to create videos or images that are not real but appear to be. There's a link there that you can watch. It's a video that's not Morgan Freeman, but it seems like it is. And there are many examples in popular media today of deep fakes, either with the permission of the person or without, that are amazing because they are so realistic, but also concerning because they are so realistic. So we need to keep these things in mind and educate our students about the risks associated with AI in addition to the benefits. So we can limit the negative impact. Just because there are some negative impacts doesn't mean that we just throw out AI tools and don't use them. There are ways that we can minimize the negative impact, ensuring always that we don't take AI generated content and use it without including a person's critical thinking. And that can that'd be true, whether it's something that we're using to create lessons or evaluate students. Some of the tools that we might be using in our classrooms already now may have AI features added, that we need to make sure that we are inserting ourselves in that loop, that we are finding out how vendors have taken bias and privacy into account, and thinking about the accessibility. Are these tools affordable to all our students? Can they be used by all students? And how that may impact their learning experience if we are using the tool, but then they are not able to benefit from it in the way other students are. So I know we're at time, and this is our last slide with our additional resources. Thank you so much for being here with us this afternoon. And we look forward to conversations with you in the future, and hopefully seeing you at NCTIES in person in March. And if you can unmute, we'd be happy to answer questions, or I'll open the Padlet to see if anybody wants to put any questions in the Padlet. We can see them there. So hope y'all have a good afternoon.